Hey there. So a couple of videos ago I talked about my Sonic OC Zoe and how cringe she is, what with her stupid sad backstory and complete lack of flaws. In this video I thought it would be fun to redesign / rewrite Zoe. Now, I actually already kind of have an idea for the design, but I just kind of want to finalize it. And also, as you might have seen in the title, I didn't create this design entirely on my own, but more on that later. Anyway, I don't really have much to say in this introduction, so I guess we should just get right to it. I decided to start by drawing Zoe's old design, not really because I needed a reference, just because I felt like it. I just felt like drawing her old design, seeing how it translated it into my art style now that it's changed as I've improved. Yeah, I didn't really have a good reason. I just felt like it. That's part of art. You just draw things when you feel like it. Like, nobody's forcing you to draw anything in particular. That's really nice. The most recent finished piece I did of Zoe, she's wearing these chunky black boots. Well, the original shape is pretty simple and cartoony, but I kind of changed that shape a little bit to be more realistic, I guess. I don't know if realistic is the right word for it. I don't know. But they're different. I quite like how they turned out. I actually considered drawing a second iteration of her previous design where she's wearing Converse shoes because, I mean, come on, I just love Converse. They're literally the best kind of shoe. You can wear them with everything, and I mean everything. PJs, prom dresses, or a suit and tie if you're a boy, you name it. Okay, so now I'm working on the new design. And as I already mentioned, I already know what this new design is gonna look like. I just haven't drawn any finished, like, full color digital illustrations of her yet. Okay, so here's what happened. So back in April, I got back into the Sonic fandom, and my sister, who's not really a Sonic fan, decided to draw the characters in her own way. And can we just take a moment to appreciate these peak designs? She just went for it. Well, I have a tendency to just really adhere to the typical Sonic style. Like when I'm designing a Sonic character or just drawing pre-existing characters, I draw them in, I guess, what you'd call the Sonic template, you know, with the muzzle and big head and small bodies with big hands and feet. But nope, my sister, she's just doing her own thing, and it's so fun. Like, Mimic here is literally just an octopus with a hat. That's hilarious. And Tangle looks like something out of the regular show. And I don't know what's going on with Whisper, but look at how she drew Lanolin. Is that not the best thing you've ever seen? Anyway, in that first drawing, here's how she drew Zoe, which is very funny. So I took that design and turned it into this, and then she went ahead and made this out of that design. And I think it's just great, it's perfect, and so I'm using it. She did ask me to give her credit, and I mean, of course, I should give her credit. But I can't take all the credit for this redesign. As you can see here, I trace over a picture of a real raccoon. I know. How dare I trace over another picture? What you gonna do about it, huh? The reason I did this is because I wanted Zoe's portions to be similar to that of a real raccoon. See, the current design has a very circular body, and I want it to be a bit lumpier, I guess is the right word. I also changed her face shape ever so slightly to match that of a real raccoon. I think I've mentioned before that Zoe was originally 20 years old, but when I found out that most Sonic characters are like 15 or 16, I decided to make her 17. You know what? I think Sonic needs more middle-aged representation. So this version of Zoe is going to be 45 years old. And all the other characters will refer to her as Mrs., implying that she's married and she probably has some kids of her own. You also may have noticed that I wrote the last name Vambrace down. I think I forgot to mention this in my other video about Zoe, but for a while her last name was in fact Vambrace. I think it's a piece of medieval armor, and I just heard it and I thought it sounded cool, so yeah. And I think it works okay, so that's why I'm using it again. So now I'm doing a character turnaround, because I thought I should get some full color and line art done, just to really officialize the design. I don't know if that's a good enough reason. But let's talk a little bit about Mrs. Vambrace. Like I already said, she's probably married with kids, and they're probably almost grown up. You know, maybe Zoe's old design will become the design for Mrs. Vambrace's teenage daughter. That would be cool. I don't know how she would contribute to the story, but maybe there'd be a family photo or something. Oh yeah, did I mention that I'm designing this character for my Sonic fan comic, Traitor's Tale? Fun fact about that comic, this is actually, I guess you'd call it take 2 of A Traitor's Tale, because the first version I did of it, I had no idea what I was doing. I was very new to comic creating. I didn't know where the story was going. And so I just introduced random characters, not really knowing what their relationship to the story was. And I didn't know how it was gonna end, and it was just very confusing. And I began to loathe the comic, working on it. I just wasn't having fun anymore. So back in, I don't know, was it April or May? I decided, you know what, let's start over. I can't do this anymore. I need to make this better, so I rewrote the comic, and that's where this version of Zoe comes in. In the story, she's an army cook, because the military is sort of involved in this fan conflict, the Mobius army, and I imagine she's probably the head cook. I don't know what else to say. Hopefully I'll be able to post the first issue to my Facebook page pretty soon, and maybe I'll make a video about it. That would be cool, like with music and stuff. I don't know, we'll just see how it goes. Anyway, here's the final design for Mrs. Vambrace. I love this new version of her so much better. She kind of seems like, she kind of reminds me of Aunt Bee from the Andy Griffith Show. And she's probably got a southern accent. That would be very fun and cute, I think. Maybe she calls everyone honey. And yes, she's very personable, very fun, but no longer a Mary Sue.